Your Arizona Wildcats possess the #1 resume in America, and they did it in historic fashion. We're going to get to all that and more on a very special edition of the AZ Wildcats post-game pod. Leave a like, stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats podcast, live from Studio K, presented by our friends over at Circle K. And do we love our friends over at Circle K, Kevin, for sponsoring, of course, the Magic Headband. But the Arizona Wildcats get the job done 71-67, U of A over UConn. What a game for Arizona. Number 4 beating number 3 and really controlled the game throughout. Got a little bit testy late, but was able to come up with the big shots to get the W in this one, despite being a big-time underdog as well. What a win for the Wildcats. What a win for my benevolent co-host, Kevin Thomas, who probably couldn't be any more fired up if he tried. Just running around in the studio here before we went live, just screaming his head off. Kevin, take us a little bit into your headspace here.
As Dolores said, and as another light skin from St. Louis said, we did it! We did it! Oh my God, we did it! Arizona.
Jason Tatum reference on my podcast.
Arizona, with this win, became just the 3rd AP team in the AP poll history to have multiple wins over top 3 opponents in its first 5 games of the season, and the first since 1989-1990 when Kansas did it. The things that this Arizona team has already accomplished through not even mid-November is unbelievable. I was talking to you about it pre-show, Damon. Arizona has the best resume in America, and it will stay that way for quite some time, especially if they keep handling business, because the ranked teams in the non-con, they don't stop here. So I start the show with this. What a win in a true road environment against the former national champion team in Danny Hurley's UConn Huskies. I mean, we're going to talk about Jaden Bradley. We're going to talk about Mount Krivas. We never doubted you, Mo Krivas. Not me. Not me.
Not this podcast. Not these two.
We're also going to talk about Brayden Burries in this podcast as well, but we do have to start with the positive. Arizona finds a way to get it done on the road. Damon, you and I have talked a lot about Arizona's ability to finish games this season. They're undefeated. We can talk about inbounds. We can, get really into the weeds about things that we don't like about the end of game sequences, but I don't really want to do that right now.
No, we'll do that.
Can we talk about Arizona, the significance of this road win for the Arizona Wildcats?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, it's the best resume in the entire country, full stop, unequivocally. You can't argue with anybody about that because Arizona now has 3 ranked wins. As you highlighted for us via Jeff Borzello, they're the first team that's done it twice against a top 10 team, top 5 team in the first 5 games of the season here. I mean, this is psychopathic stuff from Tommy Lloyd with this schedule, and it's worked out in Arizona's favor thus far. Last year, you look at, kind of how the non-conference played out, and I think that maybe some fans were a little bit like, whoa, why are we making our schedule even harder next year after, we kind of struggled? And I think you're seeing exactly why, because these freshmen, this team, they're getting battle tested from night 1, from night 3, from night 5, right? Like you're playing Florida, UCLA, UConn in those games. And somehow you found a way to win all of them. And that somehow is in large part a man by the name of Jaden Bradley. But we're going to talk a lot about Jaden Bradley in this one. We're going to talk a lot about Mo Krivas, Tobe Awaka, Koa Pete, everybody, right? But first off, let's just talk about what this means for the Cats. This means number 1, right? I mean, we talked about it before the show on the pregame show. The winner of this game should be the number one team in the country. Even if UConn won, they should have been the number one team in the country because that would then be a second top 10 win for either team this short into a season. I mean, I got to say, Kevin, like this is, I think, you know, like unequivocally, like you can't have the Cats not at number one next week.
They got to be number one. We talked about it. We talked about it on the pregame show. I could try to hear you in the idea that Houston has not done anything wrong to get moved down. You know what I mean? A 1-point win over Auburn. That's a big win for them as well. But I think Arizona's just overall strength of schedule and strength of wins in that schedule, of which they have 5 in 5 attempts, you have to give them the number one spot. Our favorite flighted bird, Pigeon, in the chat says the AP poll will screw us over for some reason. And, you know, they just want to give love to Purdue. But
I mean, it would be egregious at this point. Like there would be no bigger indicator of conference bias than Arizona somehow not being number one. I guess you could argue Houston is also in our conference, but they just haven't, like, it's not to say that teams should go down. You just haven't earned that top spot, whereas Arizona has gone out there and they've proven it. They've earned it. And how could you take that away from them at this point?
I don't know. It's hard. It really is hard. The things that Arizona and Tommy Lloyd have accomplished already this season are deserving of recognition. I'm not one for the relevancy of November rankings, but I think if we're just looking at pure resume and who deserves to be number one, it really needs to be Arizona. We talked about it all week heading into this matchup. The winner of this game has the best resume in the country. Arizona won this game. They got the best resume. And I think you could also argue that if UConn won this game, their resume is still not as strong as Arizona's if Arizona won this game. Arizona deserves to be the number one team in the country. But rankings aside, Damon, whether or not the AP wants to, you know, bend the knee to Arizona and give them the number one, it doesn't matter to me. Because what we're watching, what I'm seeing on the court with this Arizona team is a team that, as I've told every friend, whether it be from St. Louis or that went with me to Arizona, that asked me, if they're more casual, they're like, how good is Arizona really this year?
Yeah.
I know you do the podcast. I know you watch every game. I know you obsess over this team. Do you think they're actually good? Right? And this is the casual's perspective. So I get them not understanding or not having a full understanding of what Arizona is capable of. And my response to them is, if this team handles business, they could cut down nets. And it is November. And I am confident in that take. Right? If Arizona handles business and Lord willing stays healthy, they could cut down nets. The execution, the talent, the fit with that talent is that of a national championship quality team. Tommy Lloyd, we talk about him being one of the up-and-coming coaches in the country, one of the coaches that is, young in this game and has a lot of success early in terms of wins and losses, right? Maybe not necessarily the postseason wins that you'd love to see, but if he breaks through this year, the conversations that are going to be had about Tommy Lloyd with a non-conference that he is building up in this season, they're going to be serious. I'm all about it. The eye test matches the analytics with this team. Arizona, I don't give a damn if they're actually ranked number one come Tuesday, but they're playing like the number one overall team in the country. And I guarantee you, coaches to a T across the country, if there's a team you do not want to play right now, it's the Arizona Wildcats. And you could even make the argument that now is the time that you want to see the Arizona Wildcats. Brayden Burries stinks. Is he going to stink in March? Maybe. Probably not. Right? He's probably going to be a lot better in January, February, March.
Yeah.
In Big 12 conference play. So get the Arizona Wildcats now when you can. Koa Pete's only going to get better. Brayden Burries is only going to get better. Jaden Bradley's only going to get more comfortable running the point guard as a full-time ball handler for Arizona. Mo Krivas is only going to keep getting better at this rate. Get Arizona while you can. Oh, wait, you can't. Because every team that has faced them has fallen to them. It's unbelievable. And I'm very happy with the level of play we've seen. You and I were talking about it on the watch along in terms of Arizona allowing UConn to come back into this game a little bit in the second half when you did jump on them to start it. But honestly, I kind of I'm not saying that it's acceptable that you allow a team to get back into the game at home, but you knew UConn was going to punch back. You knew UConn at home was not going to go out sad. This is a team that they destroy. They destroy non-conference opponents. They destroy good teams. We've seen it en route to national championships with UConn. And Arizona went into Gamble Pavilion, got out to a decent start by keeping the game close on the road, They had avoidable errors heading into halftime, and they were still up. They come out and they jump UConn in the second half. UConn says, hold up. We're not just going to go out real sad. We got to fight back. They fight back. Arizona weathers the storm, executes down the stretch. Jaden Bradley gets you home. I love what I see. I'm seeing a number one team in the country, Damon. Do you feel the same?
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. I feel like you're very spot on with the point of this team is not a finished product. Like what we are watching is there are a lot of different things that we pointed out on the watch along, Kevin, of things that we want to see done differently, right? Like whether it's me and my incessant crying about the out of bounds plays, especially late when teams start pressing you, and seemingly we have no idea what we're doing in every one of those late game situations, or whether it's, Brayden Burries clearly not playing his A game early in the season. It just feels like that this team has a lot to work on while simultaneously knocking off ranked team after ranked team, which is like, that's scary hours for everybody else in college basketball, right? I mean, talk about mentally tough, especially from such a young team. Talk about battle tested, and there's still so much room for improvement, especially from like a Tommy Lloyd standpoint. I'm sure like as he goes back and watches the tape of this one, I bet he's like, licking his chops thinking about, man, we got to get better at this, and this. And we're still the best team in the country as things currently stand. I know you said that you won't be that upset if Arizona's not number one, because ultimately it's
we know what we're seeing.
Stupid ranking that is meaningless. The only ranking that matters, I guess, is the one at the end of the season. But Kevin, I can't. That doesn't do it for me. I'm leading the charge.
Top three ain't enough for you.
And all of those in the chat that want to join me, feel free to. If Arizona does not go number one, we are rioting.
Hold the line.
We are rioting in the streets. We are storming the college basketball offices, and we are telling them, what is right and what is wrong, and that's Arizona being number one. I absolutely will be upset if we're not number one. Absolutely.
I mean, look, I'm with it. I will be right there with my torch outside of the AP office. Not actually, NASA, NSA, if you're listening to this. Not actually. But I'm going to think about it. I'm definitely going to give it a lot of thought because Arizona deserves it. That is the resume that they have. And Jazzcat in the chat says Arizona did not shoot well. If they shoot better, they win by 15. That is correct. And I add this parenthetically. I said this to Damon on the watch along. If you were tapped in with that, thank you for staying with me and Damon, watching the game, hanging out. But I was saying Arizona's ability to win games this year against tough opponents when the three-point shot either is not falling or is not what is featured in the offense is really impressive.
3 times now, right?
Yes. Whether it be by choice or by the defense making you pick your poison there, Arizona has not needed the three-point shot this season to get 5 wins in 5 tries. I know some people in this fan base think Arizona can't shoot. Some people in this fan base think they can shoot. It's just about whether or not they fall and the types of shot they get and whatnot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're winning basketball games. They're doing it with physicality. They're doing it with toughness. They're doing it in repeatable ways. Ways that you can rinse and repeat. Physicality, toughness, that travels. Shots, they don't travel almost ever, right? So I'm very happy with what I've seen from Arizona being able to win and gut out games so far this season. We talk about the gauntlet of the non-conference, Damon. How many wins you got to get to win a championship in March and April? Like 6 in a row? Something like that? I mean, the caliber of teams that Arizona has faced, 3 of the 5 are teams that you would have to get out of there in March.
Yeah.
A team that is going to be, what team's going to be ready in March when it comes down to, oh, damn, we got a gauntlet on our side of the bracket. You know who's worried about that? Not Arizona, not Tommy Lloyd. Because they're going to have this month and some change to call back onto, plus the Big 12 season to say, yeah, so what? We got, Houston and some other strong teams on our side of the bracket in March Madness. Who cares? We've proven that away from home, we can get this done. Whether it be neutral site, whether it be semi-road game, whether it be true road game, Arizona can finish these games. They can win these games. It's huge. We talked about it with the freshmen in the UCLA game. The freshmen struggle, you still get the win. You get to learn and you get the win. Arizona in this one, you turned the ball over way too much, had a lot of avoidable self-inflicted errors, and guess what? Still got the win. Couldn't shoot the ball, to save your life in this game from beyond the arc. Don't care. Still got the win. There's so much to learn from, and you're not getting punished by any of it because you're so good in the areas where it matters. The margins, the physicality, the rebounding, right? So I'm very happy.
Especially the rebounding.
Yeah, I'm very happy with what I've seen. Let's talk about the rebounding, Damon. In fact, let's talk about it after this break here on the AZ Wildcats post-game pod. Leave a like, drink your water, don't go anywhere, please. And you know this drill. You know this drill. Pure edibles, folks. Pure edibles. Some people in our watch along chat were saying, you guys on the pure edibles tonight? Because tonight would be a great night to sit back, relax, and enjoy an Arizona Wildcat victory over the UConn Huskies with our friends over at Pure Edibles. And if you want happy hour to never end, because I know some bars across the country, happy hour is ending as this game wraps up. With our friends over at Pure Edibles and their Mother Road collab, happy hour never has to end. With Noble Road's new Tower Station IPA all-in-one, it's happy hour all the time. In fact, it's hoppy hour all the time because this is like an IPA, THC, happy fusion. I absolutely love it. So if you're in Arizona, swing by your local select dispensaries and grab your Tower Station all-in-one from Noble Road. Cheers to a happy hour all day, every day. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of the over 130 dispensaries statewide that dispense them. Spoiler alert, when I get home safely, once I'm in the comfort of my own home, I will be partaking in some Pure Edibles tonight.
That sounds absolutely electric, Kevin. And shout out our friends at Pure Edibles for truly taking care of us in every sense of the word. But I also need to tell you guys about my friends over at Arizona Lottery because 'tis the season for over $80 million in prizes.
Woo, woo, woo.
Everyone knows there's no better stocking stuffer than having the ability to reach in, pull out a scratcher, grab a physical coin, and then just start going to town on one of these Arizona Lottery scratchers. So much fun, so interactive, and there's just something about having like the physical capability in your hand, Kevin. It's listen, I love doing some sports betting as much as anybody. You do it on the phone. It is what it is. There's something about the physical scratcher card in your face that is just so much fun. It's like I said, it's so interactive. And of course, they have so many different options to choose from in terms of like the price number that you can get, whether you want to win, $1,000, $100, up to $1 million. All of those options are available to you with Arizona Lottery at different prices. And when it comes to holiday gifts, holiday scratchers are just the best place to start, whether it's a white elephant, a family gathering, or all of the above. It's the perfect gift for any occasion. Arizona Lottery, play and gift today. Love to play and spread holiday cheer with our holiday scratchers from Arizona Lottery.
This is a professional podcast, so I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat that is joining this podcast, especially Burries Muse, who's doing great work over on the statistical side of Twitter. Harvey Manfred Jensen, Andrew Eds with a great comment here. Mo Krivas is the Beef Wellington of big men. I don't even know what that really truly means, but I think it means he's some sort of specialty. He's some sort of divinity. I don't know. But yeah, and before we get to, talking about Mo Krivas, talking about the big men, talking about our by the numbers, I did want to mention this. We're talking about the resume. We're talking about the Jeff Borzello tweet where Arizona becomes just the third AP team in AP poll history to have multiple wins over top 3 opponents in the first 5 games of the season since 89-90. And I'll say this. Arizona has a chance, Damon, to have the best overall resume of a team since when? This year. If Arizona were to have a strong year to finish this out in the regular season in the Big 12 season, could they?
Man, you got to give me some time to do some research.
No, I know, but I'm saying that's kind of the headspace.
Basketball teams.
That's the headspace that this team is put us in. Of like,
yeah,
they're giving themselves the chance to have a truly historic resume that is on par with some teams that we're probably having to go back quite some time, or to just some of the better teams in recent college basketball history. Like, and we're talking about, the level of play that Arizona is going up against. Like, you're not going up against, like, I don't know. I don't want to single anybody out, but you're not going up against some overrated coaches who, just can't coach their way out of a paper bag. I know I don't like Mick Cronin. I think he's overrated, but a lot of people that know more about basketball than I think that he is accurately rated and he is one of the better coaches in the country. So Arizona has a true murderer's row ahead of them in the remainder of the non-conference in the season, and they have the opportunity to really make a mark not only on this season but history of college basketball, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's listen, there have been teams that have gone undefeated through, till they make it into the tournament.
I'm saying
right?
best resume. I'm not saying that it's guaranteeing like they're going to win it all, but yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, remember that Kentucky team that was literally undefeated until they lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin after, they unfortunately knocked us off? There are teams that have absolutely insane resumes. So I'd really need to go back and look through it. But one thing that I find so impressive about this team, Kevin, is the lack of the freshmen, really, that we've seen. I mean, obviously, Koa Pete has played a massive role. Cover earmuffs, Burries Muse, but obviously Brayden Burries has been pretty, bad so far.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word. And I wish I could sugarcoat that a little bit more, but he's been straight up bad. He's hurt the team. Ivan Karchenkov has been inconsistent. Dwayne Aristote has kind of been rolled out slowly. Like, this star-studded freshman class that we were banking on being the reason that this team was so good has so much more to prove. The people that are carrying this team to W's are the ones that were disrespected all off season long. You heard it right after Arizona beat Florida, where people were starting to be like, you know what? Maybe we didn't give enough credence to a team that brought back its starting center, starting point guard, starting small forward, and backup center from last year's roster. And you're like, you think? Because it was treated as if Jaden Bradley, Mo Krivas, Tobe Awaka, and Anthony Del Orso were complete and utter nobodies all offseason.
Just the guys lucky to be on Koa Pete's team.
Correct. Like, it was like, oh, this team can't win because they have too many freshmen.
Yeah.
Well, what about Jaden Bradley? What about Tobe Awaka? Because those guys ain't freshmen, and they don't play like it either. They play like grizzled vets that are seniors that have had a ton of experience playing college basketball. And in large part, these upperclassmen are the reason that you're being successful so far throughout this season, especially Jaden Bradley. I find it just so damn impressive that it's the guys that no one expected from a national perspective that to make this team good are the reason that in the engine of this roster. Whereas, like, you want to talk about like putting a spoiler on the back of the car? We got Brayden Burries still at home waiting to like play some good basketball. Like, you want some sweet new rims? Dwayne Aristote. You know what I mean? We're going to keep doing this car analogy every season, Kevin. I really do think it's so impressive how they're winning, the guys they're winning on the back of, and really who they have in the wings that can play so much better basketball.
Yeah, 1,000%. And shout out to Brayden Burries Muse in the chat. I do want to talk about Brayden Burries, and I do want to talk about our expectations for him and his performance so far this season and his performance tonight in this game. But before we do that, I want to talk about some numbers with our friends over at Desert Financial Credit Union. Shout out to them for holding it down here in the Valley over at DFCU. Arizona gets it done, 71-6-7. They outshoot UConn, albeit barely, 46% to 45%. The three-point discrepancy in this one was large, 20% for Arizona, 32% for UConn. The rebounding discrepancy, though, my number one key, Damon, my number one key for this game was rebound the ball. They damn near doubled up UConn in their own house, rebounding the ball, 43-23, a 20-rebound gap, a 20-rebound ravine between the two teams. But part of the reason the score was so close is that Arizona could not keep the ball close to their chest. 10 turnovers for the Wildcats, 5 for UConn. And Arizona, the assist numbers, 9 assists in this one. The buckets were tough and hard to come by for Arizona. So Owen says it in the chat, only 2 offensive rebounds for UConn as well. Arizona, I think that is the number that we got to key in on. The rebounding number, the points in the paint number for Arizona, which was what? The points in the paint number, oh my God. 42 for Arizona, 24 for UConn. I mean, the physicality, the physical dominance of the Arizona front court. I hear people across the nation still saying that there are other front courts better than Arizona's. What does Arizona's front court have to do to get the credit that it deserves? Mount Krivas, climbing Mount Krivas with a survival rate of 0%. Shout out to Max in the chat with that joke. 14 rebounds tonight, Damon. 14. He didn't play perfect, but damn it, he played really good. And I think, like I tweeted it earlier, hand up, I think I should have been in on the Krivas project a little bit sooner. The man is proving his critics, like myself, wrong, right? And I think like his effectiveness in this game has been, or in these big games, has been felt, right? Yeah, sure. You know, he does play well against the UTECs and the NAUs, but he's not like dominant against those teams. Truly, he has some pockets where he looks really good, and you're thinking, well, like I kind of would love to see like a 2015 game from Krivas against like Utah Tech. I mean, you can't guard. All that conversation is nothing anymore because in these big games, Mo Krivas is part of the reason why you're taking home W's.
Absolutely.
So I'm kind of taking the microscope away in a lot of ways from Mo Krivas now. I feel like he's proven that in these big games, you don't got to put a microscope to him and really watch him because he's going to play hard. He's going to play well. He's going to have moments that you say, ugh. But he's also going to have more moments in the game where you go, whoa, thank you for that offensive rebound, or that was a really strong putback, or way to win the ball against your opponent coming down for that board. Plaudits to Mo Krivas, coming back from injury, you know, not listening to people like me and Damon on these podcasts criticizing him, just putting his head down, going to work, finding ways to impact winning. So plaudits to the front court in this by the numbers segment.
Yeah, the main thing I want to see from Krivas, and he showed this a lot tonight, in my opinion, was, well, first off, I think you always need to have good rebounding principles, being in good positioning and whatnot, because otherwise he's unplayable at 7'2" if he's not going to be doing that. But he has done that. So I'm putting that to the side for a second. We've all been saying it for a long time. We want to see him take advantage of mismatches. And I felt like he did that all game long tonight. He was pinning people underneath the basket. He's getting a smaller guy on him. He's going straight up with it, right? He's getting a rebound. He's looking to score. He has the German freshman on him, right?
Ryba.
He's going straight at him, because he knows this guy can't guard me. He might be tall, but he can't guard Mo Krivas, right? And Krivas was working him all night on the offensive end. I know the guy Ryba had a good defensive game, offensive game in his own right, but his defense, he was getting cooked. And Mo Krivas was taking advantage of dudes all night long. And yeah, I mean, I think that's what I need to see out of him is when you get those mismatches, make them fear you. Make them make sure that doesn't happen again, where they now have to double cover you because you're an automatic bucket. And then if you make the right pass, then it's a wide open 3-pointer, right? Like that, It just opens up so much for the offense if Mo Krivas starts being just legitimately physically unstoppable for teams one-on-one. So shout out Mo Krivas. Shout out his performance really all season long. I mean, was Embry-Riddle his best game? No. But that game also was an exhibition that doesn't really count at the end of the day. In the games that are important, the games that matter, he has shown up and played fantastic basketball. And there's really nothing else you can say other than shout out Mo Krivas. We were wrong. This is the #1 Mo Krivas podcast in America, and we're going to be better.
That was an M for Mo right there. Mo money, Mo Krivas, Mo rebounds, Mo wins, Mo success, Mo Bills. I don't know what to say.
Rebounds. Mo Krivas, Mo rebounds, Mo wins. I love it.
We do also lead the nation, this podcast does, not only in Mo Krivas love, but also in Owens in our chat. We got 2 Owens. I want to shout out to Owen Leonard's comment right now. 8 turnovers in the first half, only 2 in the second. And that is a very important distinction when we're talking about this game. And honestly, when we're talking about the way that UConn pushed back in that second half, in a game where you win by 2 possessions, the ability to keep the ball, to keep a ball security high in the second half is pivotal. It's pivotal to success in this game. So thank you, Owen, for that distinction to our By the Numbers segment. Damon, we still have a lot to talk about on this here AZ Wildcats post-game pod. We have our King of the Court to give out. We have our Arizona Lottery Love the Play to talk about, and that's honestly going to be a tough one. There are a bunch of plays, I think, in this one to kind of sift through and pick from. There's not really one like alley-oop slam that really got us all going crazy. And Ernesto, I feel like we could have predicted that the Bama Illini game would be a shootout because, as I told the Damon on the watch along, that game might be 202 to 201 final score. But Sorry, I got to take a breath after all this winning that Arizona's been doing. We're going to take a quick break here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. I believe our final break of this here podcast, Damon, and we are going to get right back to it after that. By the numbers, done. King of the Court, yet to be done. Love to play, yet to be done. Brayden Burries discussion, yet to be had. Stick around, leave a like, don't go anywhere. Unless you have been in a serious accident or a wrongful death type of litigation situation, because the husband and wife law team should be your go-to. And now if any type of situation like that rings a bell or applies to you, write down this number right now. Right now. Get a pad and paper, analog style, or go to your notes app. 602-783-8841. That is the number for the husband and wife law team. Mark and Alexis Breyer. That is the husband and wife law team. Phoenix is their home out here in the valley where they raise their 8 children. Count them, 8 children, and where the focus is always client results and giving back to the community. Let's face it, after a serious injury, you want to hire an attorney that's focused on your best outcome. Not how much money the firm makes, not how nice their Maybach is pulling up into the office. No. The husband and wife law team is focused on the best outcome for you in your case. And in Arizona, less than 1% of all lawyers are certified in injury and wrongful death. So you want someone on your side that is ready for all that the trials and the court might bring your way. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841. That's 602-783-8841, or visit their website at the link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. Tell them the best team in college basketball sent you, the Arizona Wildcats, the husband and wife law team.
Shout out husband and wife law team. Also shout out our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because no one does it better than them. And of course, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. It's just like your classic casino action, right? Obviously, you go in, there's so many options. There's a pool area, there's a concert venue, there's live table games and slots, there's great dining options, there's a hotel. You name it, man. When they say you do you, they mean it, because they give you every option to have the time of your life at a Gila River Resort and Casino location. 4 locations here in the Valley: Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Bee Kiva, and Santan Mountain. Experience the best the Valley has to offer with our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Kevin, I'm a Wild Horse Pass man. I talk about it on this show all the time. I love the sports book up there. I love hanging out at the Upper Deck Kitchen and Bar with our friends over at PHNX Cardinals for their away game watch parties, which have gotten fairly depressing, I will add. But you know what? The vibes are always better when Johnny and Bo are watching the Cardinals lose with you guys. So unprecedented level of entertainment over there at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because that alone puts a smile on your face when you're watching the Cardinals lose a football game. You're like, you know what? I look around my shoulder and I go, look at that beautiful casino floor. How could I be angry, right? That's how I am when I'm inside of a Gila River Resort and Casino. I need you guys to get over to one ASAP and check it out for yourself. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for details.
All right, I believe we are officially ad-free the rest of the way here on the AZ Wildcats post-game pod, talking about Arizona taking down the number 3 team in the country, the UConn Huskies. Now, Damon, we have gone a half an hour into our podcast, and we have not discussed our King of the Court. And people in the chat might be like, where's the Jaden Bradley discussion on this show? Well, bam! Our King of the Court is Jaden Bradley tonight. 21-3-2 from our general, JB, who also surpassed 1,000 points for his career across all college basketball games. So shout out to Jaden Bradley for not only closing down the stretch, having one of the coolest up and under layups that we've seen in a while, and getting the job done. Once again, our fearless leader, King of the Court, Jaden Bradley.
King is right, Kevin. This man is a king. Put his crown on. Give him his crown. Do you think Bryce James is allowed to bestow crowns upon people? Like, is he given that right?
Is it like a 4PF chain?
I feel like he's like he's royalty, right? Because King James, so Prince Bryce, so he could, I guess, maybe knight.
Yeah,
Jaden Bradley, I don't know how that works exactly, but Jaden Bradley's the truth. Has been, always will be, and the people that disrespected him this offseason should be embarrassed by themselves.
1,000%, and I talked about it on the pregame show. This is the payback tour for Jaden Bradley. This is the you all must have forgot what I'm capable of when I have the ball in my hands tour for Jaden Bradley. Solo ball tonight, checks numbers, 1 for 8 from 3. Malachi Smith, check stats, 1 for 5 from the field. Silas Demery, check stats, went 6 for 10, but someone's got to score the ball. Jaden Bradley shows up on both ends, carries you, leads you, takes you through deep waters.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what he is capable of, and it's unbelievable the disrespect that was heaped upon his name. In fact, not even the disrespect that was heaped upon his name, because that implies that someone is talking about him. That implies that someone is saying, I don't like Jaden Bradley's game. These people didn't even know he had a game that was being played.
Who?
Oh, you mean Donovan Dent, right?
I thought Caleb Love
West Coast point guard. You mean Donovan Dent?
I thought Caleb Love was their point guard.
Oh, no.
He wasn't?
No, they got this Burries kid now. Yeah, it's probably going to be Burries. The Evan Nelson transfer.
Yeah, Evan Nelson, that's huge.
Harvard. I mean, Xavier Lee, we know those Ivy League guys go hard. So
you want a smart guy like that running the point.
BS, right? Like, they were not even talking about Jaden Bradley to disrespect him in the first place, and that in itself is disrespect. So I'm extremely, extremely tired of it, and I think Jaden Bradley is too, by the way he's playing, because he is shutting everybody up. And in fact, no one's even backtracking what they had to not say about Jaden Bradley. They're just now getting ahead of it and being like, I think Arizona's best player is actually their point guard, Jaden Bradley. Bet you wouldn't guess that because they have a 5-star freshman. It's like, no, actually, we would have guessed that because Jaden Bradley is the metronome. He is the steadying hand. He is the sniper holding his breath at the top of the ridge. He is ice cold. He does not waver in these big moments. Oh, I got a defender on me? Oh, they stopped my first move? Oh, they stopped my second move? Oh, they denied my screen from Krivas? I'm just going to take him into the paint, go up, turn around, go under, hit a layup. It's unbelievable. Jaden Bradley's shot making, his leadership down the stretch in these ice-cold moments where you need a guy most. Happy Jaden Bradley's on my team, man. Happy Jaden Bradley's on my team. He's our king of the court tonight.
Shout out Jaden Bradley. I mean, he just an unbelievable performance, and he's done it at the end of every game, right? And there was a moment where we went into timeout, Kevin, on the watch along, and I said, what are you doing here? Who are you giving the ball to? And I remember I directly said to you, I need JB taking this shot.
Yeah.
Not that you weren't saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I think we all were sitting there saying Jaden Bradley needs to take this shot. But the fact that he has taken that mantle 5 games into a season of like big shot, big game player, Jaden Bradley.
Yeah.
Like Koa Pete's fantastic. He's the best player on this team. Like talent-wise,
most
maybe
talented,
ceiling-wise, like if he's playing his best game, he's the most unstoppable. But Jaden Bradley is the constant. He is consistent as always. He almost never has a bad game. We said it all year last year too. When this podcast was sitting up here telling you Jaden Bradley's been the best player on the team all season long, even though he's averaging like 12 points per game. Because he's just been so damn consistent. He brings it on both ends every night. And now he's found a way to elevate his game and get better as a scorer, get better in isolation, get better in the mid-range game, and get better from 3. I don't know what the stats bear out exactly right now, but like I gotta check his 3-point statistics, Kevin, because eye test wise, it feels like he's nailing these shots.
And I'll say this:
50%.
Wow,
50% from 3, wow. And he hit 1 of 2 tonight, so that will continue being 50%. All season long. Granted, he hasn't taken a whole lot of shots, but he doesn't need to.
He never has.
He doesn't need to be a like Steph Curry 8 attempts a game guy. And that's probably a little light for Steph, but he needs to just...
He makes a game.
Yeah, he needs to be there just as an outlet, with the pressure of you can't leave that guy wide open. And when he's gotten those shots in this season, or not even wide open shots, but just rhythm shots, like when he catches the ball with rhythm and he's able to set his feet and shoot, man, does it look pretty good. And I feel like he's improving his perimeter shooting as well, which has been kind of the big knock on Jaden Bradley. Yeah,
no, I'm with you. And I think the case for Jaden Bradley recently, in terms of, and by recently, I mean like his entire college career, I guess not recently, but it's okay. Well, he shoots okay on low volume, right? But when he ups his volume, it doesn't really look pretty. And this year, I guess, technically he's half a 3-point attempt down from his average last year, 2.1. He has 1.5 attempts on average this year. But 50% up from 32%. I know it's a small sample size of just 5 games, and he's only shooting like 1 for 2 per game. So small sample size, but that's what he's working on. That's it. Spoiler alert.
NBA draft preparation for is to find out what he needed to work on his game. And obviously a lot of that was going to be perimeter shooting, right? And so he seems like he's done just that. Not only the perimeter shooting, Kevin, did you know coming into this game, he did not have a performance under 60% from the field? 60%. He plays point guard, by the way.
I was about to say Jaden Bradley, the center, right?
No, the point guard. The one that's played 3 top 5 teams.
Unbelievable.
It really is unreal. There was no more disrespected player in the offseason than Jaden Bradley, and that shows. It shows on a nightly basis. It shows when, he's the best player on potentially the number 1 team in the country.
I mean, Jaden Bradley, there are not enough kind words to say about what he means to this program right now. And in terms of, we talk about Brayden Burries, and I think this is a good segue into the Brayden Burries conversation. We talk about Brayden Burries struggling. Is there a man born from his mother that is better suited to teach Brayden Burries about these moments than Jaden Bradley? I don't think so. I think Brayden Burries is in the perfect spot right now to learn from Tommy Lloyd, learn from Jason Gardner, learn from Brayden Burries, learn from Brayden Burries, learn from Jaden Bradley, hell, learn from Koa Pete, who's played at extremely high levels of basketball as well. He is in a great spot. So let's talk about Brayden Burries, who is not, he's in a great spot, but he's not been playing like it, right? And I think tonight, we saw a couple things, in my opinion, and Damon, you can agree or disagree with this. I think we saw Brayden Burries in the first half legitimately took himself out of the game. I think we saw Brayden Burries in the first half that was an actual detriment to your team when he was on the court. I think in the second half, we saw a Brayden Burries that was a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more of a decisive playmaker. I'm not saying like passing. I'm saying, those half second, those 0.5 decisions, get the ball, what am I doing with it? He's a little bit quicker with that in the second half. Mm-hmm. A lot more physical on his drives, looking for fouls. I think there was a couple that he actually could have got given and gifted a foul call, rewarded with a foul call, I should say. So I think this kind of goes back to what I was saying after the UCLA game, where if we're just being objective, Brayden Burries has been bad so far this season. I know that Ball Knower Norin in the chat, and that's not sarcasm, Ball Knower Norin in the chat did say bad, I believe, in relation to Brayden Burries was a little bit of a stretch. However, I think it's okay to just call a spade a spade. And I think if you ask Brayden Burries how he's playing right now, he would probably say bad. Right?
Probably the worst of his entire basketball career.
But I think that does not mean he's a lost cause.
No, absolutely not.
What we're seeing with him is he's problem solving in real time. He's going up against some of the top coaches in America with some of the best, most toughest rosters in America. And he's coming out the other side a winner and wiser, and more importantly. He's coming out the other side with live game experience against some of the highest level teams, right? So we're talking about Brayden Burries as if the next month decides his college career when it doesn't. Now, I'll say this much though about that. If he does not continue to improve, right, there do need to be some conversations about like his size of his role as it relates to these big high leverage games for Arizona, right? Because he's going to get better. He is. He's going to look like the player that we thought that he was coming in at some point. But how much slack do you give him? How much time do you give him to get there? You and I were talking about it on the watch along. I feel like I give him till like January before I'm even like concerned about Brayden Burries. And that's me personally. I understand if someone in the chat is like, man, I'm kind of concerned about him now. I don't know. We had people in our watch along saying like, no, Burries just straight up ain't it. Burries just straight up ain't good. And it's hard to like argue. Like you can't really point to a game and be like, well, he did this in the second half against that. He hasn't had that yet. But we know the talent is there. We know the IQ is there. We know the mentality is there. Because what's he doing in this game? Getting back on defense, he's smiling, right? They don't call something on him on the other end. He goes back and he smiles. And to Owen's point in the chat, his defense has gotten better too.
He looked good defensively in this one.
He was much better defensively in this one, Damon. So I'm not concerned, even though I understand the concern. Where are you at with Brayden Burries November 19th?
I mean, listen, I think it would be crazy for me to say I have zero concern level. I definitely am slightly concerned from what we've seen thus far, but I also agree with you. Like, is he hurting the team? Yes. Is it causing the team to lose basketball games? No. So now, in a way, it's almost he's like a luxury addition when he starts playing good basketball. Because it's like, now you just got better. Here's where I'll give him some slack. I think if you're UConn and you're Danny Hurley and you have that really talented team, you're on the road, you're going to play against a bunch of freshmen, Jaden Bradley's on the other team. Like, how are you going to defend that backcourt? And I think sending a second man at Brayden Burries so that he doesn't know what he's looking at, like just throwing him off his game a little bit, double covering him, forcing him to turn the ball over, like that makes sense to me when Jaden Bradley is his compatriot taking the ball up the court, right? Like, you're probably not going to get Jaden Bradley to turn it over. So we're going to really send a trap at Brayden Burries when he has the ball in his hands. And I think that you saw that a lot on especially those first half turnovers. I think he had 3 of them to which all of them were not very good. Like they looked bad, right? Part of that is also, as I think it was Basketball and Football Guy put in here, like UConn defenders were just barreling into people. And then they weren't calling anything. And so they were rewarding such physical play that Brayden Burries at times was like getting, body slammed, and then the ball would shake loose. Listen, he's got a lot to figure out. He's got to be better with the ball in his hands. Shots will be missed. I like seeing the improved defense. What I really want to see is improvement on the turnover side of things. Can't be lackadaisically turning the ball over like that. Every single time that you're dribbling the ball, passing the ball, you do it with a purpose, as if it's the last play of the game in the national championship, right? Because that's the level of basketball that you are now playing. That's the level of basketball that you will play in the league. So I want to see a little bit more carefulness with the turnover situations. We also saw that from Anthony Del Orso tonight. That wasn't a Brayden Burries specific issue. This team turns the ball over a little bit. So how do we fix that? That's the main thing I want to see out of Brayden Burries and the improvement that I want to see out of him. Because I think from a mentality standpoint, he's all there. We were talking about it on the watch along. Even when he has his bad moments, when he has a good moment, he's immediately smiling. When his teammates have a good moment, he's the most fired up person on the court. Like, Brayden Burries has a lot going for him. We just got to figure it out. And as I said, it's like the fact that Arizona's winning games against great teams right now without Brayden Burries contributing all that much, man, imagine what happens when he does.
Imagine what happens when Monkey D. Shane sends a super chat. Too many shots fired tonight. You got to be up at 4 a.m., but BTFD regardless. And I appreciate each and every one of our viewers that are tapping in.
Monkey D. Shane.
Maybe on the East Coast where it's a little bit later than it is out here. So thank you guys for your sacrifice of sleep, watching our pod and bearing down with us. But talking about Brayden Burries bearing down, it feels like we've been talking about, he is getting better marginally. It's just about getting the results of like the shots falling and him controlling the controllables, like not blindly dribbling into the lane and then getting the ball taken away from him from behind as they send the trap and the double team at him. So where I'm at, Brayden Burries is going to be okay. He's talented, has a good head on his shoulders, and I think that he is in a perfect spot to grow, to learn, to evolve as a player, to honestly do all of this mistake making without having all that pressure on him, right? So I think like in terms of the pressure that we as fans are putting on Brayden Burries is a lot, I think, more than the actual game pressure that he has on him. Because we've talked about how I'll say lacking his performances have been. I don't want to keep saying bad, right? But how disappointing some of his results have been. But they're winning games and they're not losing any game yet, nonetheless, because of Brayden Burries. So yeah, I think he's going to be fine with time. Burries Muse somehow managed to miss the entire Burries segment. He's been tapped in the whole show, steps away to the bathroom for something to make a graphic or whatever he does on Twitter for 1 second, and he misses the whole segment. So go back like 5 minutes and tap in. But yeah, shout out to everybody who's new in the chat as well. Jamon Crawford says, BTFD Cats, great win, 5-0, 3-0 against ranked teams.
Damon?
Damon? Tied in. We're locked in.
That's family ties.
It is family ties. KW says, how is Arizona not ranked number 1 next week?
West Coast bias. Bias against.
Yes.
Yeah. You can have bias against somebody.
Yeah, totally. Southwest bias. Come on. Shout out to Espo. But, Damon, where should we go next? Should we give out our Arizona Lottery Love to Play?
Let's go ahead and do it, Kevin. Sponsored by our friends over at Arizona Lottery, of course. The only place to do your holiday stocking stuffer shopping over at Arizona Lottery with many of their fine kiosks, Kevin, that they have
Kiosks
all across the valley here, even some other locations as well. But it's time to love that play, brought to you by our friends over at Arizona Lottery. Play and gift today. Kevin, what was your love the play of the game?
This is a fun one because I think you and I might have different answers to this prompt, this segment, because of the nature of this game. There weren't too many highlight plays, but I think that means you can go pick your personal favorite. I gotta go the Jaden Bradley up and under layup. I mean, that had me fired up. The defense that UConn was playing, I think that was the possession where I literally said out loud to you on the watch along, man, that's some good defense UConn's playing on Jaden Bradley right now. And he just kept going.
Yeah.
Action number 1, they stopped it. Action number 2, they stopped it. Action number 3, they stopped it. But he had a check, a solution to go to of the fake into the up and under. Chef's kiss. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. That is the play that I'm loving with our friends over at Arizona Lottery. Damon, where you at?
We already talked about this one, but I think it deserves a special shout out. How about that Mo Krivas dunk at the end of the game? Got the ball right under the basket. Had a 7'1" guy in his face protecting the rim. And he said, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to dunk this basketball right on your head. Momentous dunk. Huge in that moment to get those points. And exactly what we've been begging for Mo Krivas to do since he started at Arizona. Hey, man, catch the ball and go straight up with it. They can't defend you.
You're too big.
You're too big. That was definitely my favorite play of the game here. But also, I want to shout out Max's, because I don't think Max used this as his play of the game, but I'm just going to say that it is. He brought up when Del Orso hit that mid-range jumper, and then he told the dude that he was too small right afterwards. That's got to be my honorable mention tonight.
Yeah, I love that. Another honorable mention, I'll give one since you gave one. That Koa Pete block where he looked like he was trying out for the Arizona volleyball team. Mm-hmm. That was really impressive as well. A ton of impressive plays down the stretch. I mean, I don't know. This team, I feel like I kind of killed it today with my keys. I'm just going to put that out there. I feel like I killed it with my keys because my third key was difficult shot making, and I feel like that was something that specifically Jaden Bradley was able to get to down the stretch. But Francisco Othan in the chat says, nah, y'all crazy. My favorite was Awaka coming up clutch with 4 free throws. All right. You know what? I see that. I'm not going to hate on it because I think that is a good, great, dare I say, play.
That's 4 plays.
Yeah. 4 shots at least. But I will say, Deborah Owens brought up, shout out to Deborah Owens, loyal listener of all of our shows here at PHNX, brought up earlier that the announcers, Damon, you and I were on the watch along, so we couldn't really fully listen to it. Apparently they were hating on our boy Tobey, and that is absolutely unacceptable. I think they were doubting his ability to hit the free throws. You know what I say? Count them. Count all 4 of them.
These are not your conventional big men in college basketball. Both Mo Krivas and Tobey Awaka know how to hit free throws.
Yes.
At a fairly effective level for their size and their height. So, yeah, I mean, listen. Doubt Tobey Awaka all you want, man. People have probably been doing that for a long time as well. I did just want to shout out, what's his name? Retro11 here in the comments, who decided we don't know doo-doo because of our love the play.
What do you mean?
Makes sense. Put in these two don't know doo-doo while we were talking about our favorite play of the game.
I feel like maybe that was carryover for the Brayden Burries segment because their initial chat was Burries makes the team better when he is on the court. That is why he starts. And you know what? I get you. I do get you.
I think he starts because he's a top 10 recruit in the country. He was essentially probably promised a starting job. No one recruited over him at the shooting guard, combo guard position after Caleb Love left. And he certainly has showed that caliber in the past, but I don't think that he has been necessarily helping the team this season. I think Brayden Burries would be the first guy to tell you that that's not the case. But that's fine.
To each their own. We do have a good question here from Andrew Eds, who, pardon me if I'm, remiss in missing this, but I feel like this is a new chatter in our chat. So thank you, Andrew, for popping out, bearing down, showing some love to this incredible basketball program tonight with your comment that says, is today the last time we get plus moneyline odds until February? And Damon, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Arizona's schedule here because I think
the Alabama game we're underdogs again. In Tuscaloosa,
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
Wait, why is that game?
You're an underdog in Tuscaloosa.
That's so strange. Why is that game not listed as even a neutral site game, or at the minimum on ESPN? Which I know it's in Tuscaloosa, right?
Isn't that where Alabama? Isn't that Alabama's home?
Yeah, but
it's in Birmingham. Sorry, it's
Okay.
in Birmingham, not Tuscaloosa.
But either way,
it's essentially a Alabama home game.
That'll probably be a really close spread. But yeah, you'll probably get plus odds there.
I think you'll get plus odds there. Other than that, I have no idea.
Maybe until February
at BYU, January 26th would be the next one.
Yeah, at BYU could be it, depending upon how well they're playing at the time. But man, I mean, you look at this schedule. And
I think at BYU you're probably an underdog, but
yeah,
this game in Birmingham is going to be definitely one to watch here against Auburn, who I don't believe is ranked anymore. Are they?
22, I believe.
They've dropped a little bit here in Tucson. You should be favored in that one, but yeah,
is Bruce Pearl making the trip for that one? Got all the time in the world, that guy.
Who knows?
You know that just grind my gears, dude. Don't quit your job and then show up to every work meeting and work outing. You could have stayed in the group work chat or the work group chat if that was the case. Bruce Pearl. All right, I don't want to see him anywhere near this basketball game. But Damon, do we have any more thoughts about the basketball game that Arizona won tonight, 71-67 over UConn? What a win! What a W! Where we go next?
Well, first off, I want to just shout out everybody here in this chat who has been here. This chat has been popping. One of the most popping chats we've ever had here on this podcast, and for good reason, because this is the #1 team in college basketball, and they deserve this kind of love. Like this video for the Arizona Wildcats tonight. Not for me, not for Kevin, not for PHNX, but for the Arizona Wildcats, because our Cats are off to an insanely hot start of 5-0. Appreciate everybody who is here in this chat, of course. You guys make this show go. But yeah, unbelievable performance, Kevin. Unbelievable. The fact that Arizona has somehow managed to start off undefeated with this slate in front of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it really is cinema. You look at the schedule, and shout out to Corey Williams. I don't bring this up to poo-poo him. He has a lot of really good takes. And I think, him and I were talking about this non-conference, and not him and I, but him and Saul were talking about non-conference scheduling preseason on McHale Madness. Make sure to check out our Arizona basketball exclusive podcast. So Damon and I, we cover both football and basketball. Saul and Corey, they just talk hoops. So make sure to check that out if you truly, truly want just 24/7 Arizona basketball. But I digress. They were talking about how Corey thinks if Arizona can get 3 of their 5 tough non-conference games this year, the wonderful position that they will be in. Damon, you kind of got 3 already. And what does it mean if Arizona were able to, defeat Auburn as well? If they were able to defeat Alabama? I mean, I guess I'm really asking, is there a ranking higher than #1 that we can get put in? Is there like an S tier for the AP top 25? Because Arizona
can hand us the championship right now.
I mean, cancel the season.
Literally.
I mean, we can't have heartbreak if we never get there.
Can't have heartbreak if they just crown a champion after game 5.
I'm all about it. But yeah, Damon, what do you want to talk about before we get on out of here? We could talk about Koa Pete. We could talk about anything you want. Danny Hurley being an embarrassment.
Let's touch a little bit on Koa Pete's performance, because I don't think we've talked enough about Koa Pete tonight. And then let's talk real quick about the things that Arizona needs to improve upon moving forward. Because there are certainly some things that need to happen outside of just Brayden Burries playing better basketball, which, of course, I think is a given. Everyone knows that. But yeah, Koa Pete tonight, great performance. I thought the eye test was good. Looking up his stats here for this one. Great podcasting.
I mean, what else do you need?
Koa Pete, 16 points, 7 of 14 from the floor, missed 2 of his 4 free throws, which might need to be improved upon, and had 12 rebounds in accordance, Kevin. 2 blocks, 5 offensive rebounds, 3 assists. What a superstar. What an absolute superstar Arizona fans have in front of them to watch all season long. The guy's unbelievable. I didn't even know he had 12 rebounds. I really didn't.
I didn't know the exact number, but that's kind of what that's the direction I was going to go.
someone said it, but it didn't feel like it as much. Like Krivas and Tobe Awaka's rebounds multiple times during that watch along. I'm sitting there and I'm going, yeah, nice rebound. Krivas, nice rebound. Tobe. Koa Pete, I felt like it was a little bit quieter, and a quiet 12 rebounds is absolutely insane.
I mean, when Mo Krivas and Tobe Awaka get their rebounds in the variety or the style that they do, like you alluded to, that strength, that loud kind of a style, it does make it easier for Koa Pete to have a quiet 12 rebound game. But I will say this, Damon, like Koa Pete's rebounds tonight, I think, to me, my viewing experience, they kind of were loud and many times. There were some that snuck by. I would say probably 4, 5 of them kind of snuck by me. But there were some where he's going up over the back of guys in a legal way, because he's a better athlete, just meeting the ball over their head, taking it, bringing it down, doing one of these. As a UConn player holds on, he's just like rolling his eyes, as you said, just like, all right, this UConn player is going to hold on to this basketball as if he's going to take it from me. He was tough, man. We talk about Koa Pete. Like,
he just stared into his soul, Kevin. I think he was just looking at him like this.
He really did. And we talk about Koa Pete needing to give you more than he gave you against UCLA to beat UConn, and he did just that. Not 30 points, but you didn't need it tonight. 16, 50% from the field. We brought up the double-double, and I think the 3 assists is key there as well. Like his ability to move the ball, not be what the hell just happened there? I glitched. I buffered, but not be a black hole on this offense. I think Koa Pete is doing a great job at acclimating to the college game. Dare I say he has yet to have to acclimate. I think that UCLA game was about as close as it gets to Koa Pete kind of being like, whoa, this is different than what I've experienced so far. Because even against Florida, he was dog-walking Alex Condon. Tonight, he dog-walks Alex Caravan. If you're an Alex, get the hell out of Koa Pete's way. That's all I got to say. But yeah, I think he was very good. We do have a question in the chat, Damon, from Chris Tricks MC. Do you guys think Brayden Burries is a one-and-done to the NBA?
Seems like that was the plan going into the year. You, of course, have like Caleb Holt, I believe he said, in his 1-on-3 interview. He said Brayden Burries will be one and done in the league next year, which seemingly is something that has been told to him by Arizona, you would assume, in their recruitment of him, which means that is, I guess, in fact, the plan. Now, through 5 games, that doesn't look like that's going to be the case. A lot can change, though. A lot can change. I wouldn't be shocked to see Brayden Burries still get drafted this year and be a one-and-done prospect, but there's definitely, it was like over here, and now it's like kind of like over here, where it's like, it's up in the air a little bit. Who knows? I could see him coming back potentially.
I would, like, I know this is not the question, but I think it's the way I'm going to say that. I'm going to answer it, is I would probably put it at a 25% chance that Brayden Burries becomes a one and done. Like, I think there's a decent chance that he still is a one and done, because like I've said on this podcast in post games multiple times this year, the ability we've seen of other players, worse honestly than Brayden Burries, to get into the tournament, become the Human Torch, and walk out of the tournament into a lottery positioning in the NBA mock drafts, the story gets written every year of a guy with, how did we miss out on John Smith from FAU? He balled out in the tournament. We thought he was mid all year, and all of a sudden he gets rolling, and now he's all we can talk about, and who can draft John Smith? And that is all still ahead of Brayden Burries. Yeah. Like, if he figures this out before like January, he has 3 months practically to let scouts know that, hey, the talent that you already think I have, I'm just going to show it now. And I think that we've seen like guys like Carter Bryant not have any real sustained production in terms of like points, rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. Like, it was up and down for him last year, but his potential was always there. The scouts always loved his frame. And so when they were given reason to believe in him, they dove headfirst into it. And so I think that could be the Brayden Burries story. If he were to go one and done, it would take him rounding into shape, playing unconscious for like 3 weeks in a row, and just showing people that, hey, that talent you thought I had, I still got it. I am the player that you think I was. And I think that's his route to being a one and done. But is that what's going to happen? I don't know. Still could.
We'll see. Hopefully Brayden Burries picks it up a little bit as we maybe hit a couple easier games here on our schedule against Denver and Norfolk State before having to play both Alabama State schools, Auburn and Alabama. in back-to-back matchups after that. But let's talk a little bit about things to improve upon before we get out of here, Kevin. Number one being out-of-bounds plays. Can't do it anymore. I said it against Florida on the watch-along. I said it against UCLA. I said it now against another, the third good team that we've played all season long. At the end of games, Arizona has no idea what they're doing. Like that inbounds pass to Tobe Awaka was 4.97 seconds, probably. Like it was as long as it could possibly be without being a 5-second call.
And it got thrown in like it was getting thrown to Krivas.
In a pivotal moment. Kevin.
Yeah.
Like if you turn the ball over there, you just did what you did against Florida where Jaden Bradley fell out of bounds and then you gave them the ball with a chance to tie it at the end of the game. It's unacceptable, man. It's going to be the reason that your season ends. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it all season long. Your season will end because of your carelessness at the end of games. Tommy Lloyd needs to figure something out when it comes to that stuff. Like, listen, man, I'm not a basketball coach. I'm not drawing up on the clipboard how to get the ball inbounded and how to get it past the half-court line. But my God, does it seem like one of the simplest things a coach can do. Like, it feels like when you have that instilled into your team, it is easy to break a press, even when you're playing against a really, really good defense. And I have seen far too much carelessness with the basketball from the passes out of bounds in particular, and just lack of urgency from the players out on the floor trying to get the basketball, right? Like, it feels like, everyone's just kind of moseying on down. Oh, someone else will collect the pass. Gotta be better on out of bounds. You saw it from Delhi tonight. You saw it on that Tobe Awaka one. It doesn't matter if it's offense, if it's defense, or when I say that, obviously you have to have the ball. You're always on offense. Whether you're under your own basket or under the opponent's basket, it doesn't matter. It just feels like we struggle to inbound the basketball, and I need it to be consciously fixed.
Yeah, it does. And I also think that the way you start the game has to be stronger. I think Arizona did a good job, though, today at starting both halves pretty strong. I think you do have to work into a lather in a true road environment like that up against UConn, up against a team that's that well coached. It's going to be tough to just go out and jump them. I'm not saying that that's what I expect Arizona to do with all these teams, but I think Arizona must take care of the ball, execute early in both halves in order to give themselves better chances. But honestly, right now with Arizona, I think a lot of the things that you and I have been complaining about, not being the inbounds plays and the ATOs, they're kind of already working on. I think a lot of the time, like we talk about, ADO need to be more consistent. He's playing better defensively. Now he's turning the ball over a little bit too much in some of these games, and that is a controllable that can be fixed. And it is early in the year. But, Krivas has been getting better. We called for Krivas to improve. He is improved. We're calling for Burries to get better. And game by game, he's inching himself into this level. He's crawling into this level, I'll say. But I think game by game, we're going to see improvements with Arizona. This is a mostly new team.
But I want to hear about the inbounds plays, Kevin. How are we going to see improvement from that when last year it was also an issue? Because it hasn't gotten better, and it was a problem last year. I talked about it a lot on these post-game shows, being like, at the end of games, we have nothing drawn up. It's throw the ball to Caleb Love and hope he hits a half-court shot, and it worked one time. But we tried it like 4. And that's not a good enough game plan for me.
Yeah, I really don't know. I do forfeit the, we'll have to ask our guy SPG, or maybe, something like that. Because, I don't know, that is above my pay grade to really draw up the ATOs. But I will say, I think what truly for me and my level of knowledge that I can put out there, I think you need more intensity in those moments. You need guys coming from half court, flying to the ball, catching the ball, being strong on the ball, and either taking the foul or moving the ball up the court. I think there's too much lackadaisical inbounding with Arizona. I think it's too much it's been 3.5 seconds. No one's come to get the ball. They're being defended. They're not moving. Let's just throw it to my big at midcourt. Hope that he can make an Odell Beckham level catch.
Yeah.
Or he can get fouled, or both. So I don't know, to be honest with you, what the remedy is for the lack of effectiveness in the late game inbounds plays or the late game ATOs. But I do think that it does come down to what I said on the watch along about something else totally different from this. But don't just run the play to run the play. Don't just run the play because it's, oh, I'm supposed to do this and then I got to do that and then JB's going to pass the ball there and I need to be here. No. Run the hell out of the play with intensity, with urgency, like your life depends on it, because in these end-of-game scenarios, your win or loss, the result depends on your effort and intensity in that moment. Mr. Tyler Warden agrees with you. Baseline out-of-bounds plays are a consistent problem for me. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know what the solution is.
If Mr. Tyler Warden is agreeing with me, then it sounds like I'm on the money here. I feel pretty good when that's my ally. But
I just wish I had a solution. You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm not expecting you to have a solution. It's more just that, like, the answer of, well, I trust Tommy Lloyd and this team's going to get better. In this particular circumstance, in general, I agree with that. I have that faith and belief in the Brayden Burries discussion, right? Like, with Brayden Burries, I believe in Tommy Lloyd. I believe in time. I believe in development. I think all of that's going to get better. But as Tyler Warden says here, like, the baseline out of bounds plays have been a problem for a couple years. And it seemingly has not gotten better at all. It feels like almost an afterthought in the coaching that we do at Arizona. And I don't understand why, because it's a consistent problem. Like, if it's something that we are working on, then we need to find a different way of working on it, because this way is not working.
Yeah, and it's like kind of confounding, no? Like, that it feels like that is a, like, day one install kind of a thing of, like, all right, late game scenario, what do we do? Right? And I think
like one play, 5 seconds on the clock, we got to get the ball in. What's the play call, guys?
And it feels like,
what do we do?
It feels like Tommy Lloyd is in the huddle, and I'm gonna use a football term, but it'd be kind of funny if he did this. No, he looked at his wrist in the playbook and flipped it open, and he has 3 baseline out of bounds plays. Right? Like a little 2-man weave almost to each corner, and the inbounder can kind of pick a guy that's more open, and they can get it in, and maybe they can come get the ball and move it up the court. And
then 2 big men run down the floor and with their head turned, and they pretend they don't even look back for the ball.
Yes. And then in that case where they got guarded at the baseline, then you look at the 2 big men that just ran down the court and you're like, well, one of them's got to be open. F it, Tobe Awaka's down there somewhere. F it, Mount Krivas is down there somewhere.
Yeah. It just needs to there needs to be more like designated purpose with what we're doing on an inbounds play, because it feels a lot of like, we got the players to do it. And you're like, I know we got the players to do it, but they don't know what they're doing right now. It's very clear. That's enough of the baseline out of bounds stuff. Got to improve upon it. I'll keep hammering it and being annoying about it all season long if we don't. Let's talk a little bit about 3-point shooting before we get out of here. I saw our guy G-Rod was up here in the chat being like, this team has just got to be better at not only making threes, but taking threes, right? They take a very low volume of shots. Night 1 against Florida, Kevin, that was the case. You said you weren't super concerned about it. Obviously, Arizona's still beaten 2 very good teams since then while not shooting the 3 all that well. But is this going to be a problem for the Cats as we move forward in this season? And how is that something that they can improve upon?
I'm leaning towards no. Like, I'm kind of holding the line with my take that they're going to shoot a lower volume and that when the season ends, it's going to be a higher percentage than it was last season. But I do think, like, I still disagree with that they need to take more threes. Because I think the 10 threes they took in this game were good shots.
They were really good shots.
You had a couple Yvonne open threes. You had a Jaden Bradley open 3 that missed. I think Brayden Burries shot 1. No, he didn't shoot 1 that missed. But Karchenkov himself went 1 for 5 today from 3, and that's half your attempts, man. You know what I mean? So, like, I think these are good shots. You're just not getting the result that you want on those shots. So I'm still not concerned. And it probably is going to take it, like, honestly burning us for me to really be concerned. But I just don't think, like, I think the way Arizona's offense is going to operate this year, it's going to create open threes off the kick out, right? Like, I think that the ability of Arizona to collapse the defense, whether it be with Cole Pete, Jaden Bradley, Brayden Burries, Tobe Awaka, it creates open shooters for open shots for shooters like Ivan Karchenkov, Dwayne Aristode, ADO, a.k.a. Deli. I'm not too concerned. Damon, if instead of going 2 for 10, if a couple of those shots fell and they go 4 for 10, are we concerned? Because Arizona got a win and they shot 40% from 3.
I mean, like, the win looks a lot easier if you make 2 more threes.
No, true. But you know what I'm saying? Like, are people concerned about the amount of shots that they're shooting from 3 if they make 2 more of them tonight? Like, and I'm not saying that, like, that is a big if. They were open shots.
I think I wouldn't be sitting up here being like, man, what a massive issue. But I definitely would be saying, I'd like to see a little bit more uptick in volume there. 10 shots from 3 is just, in modern NBA basketball, or NBA, modern basketball is just pretty low stuff.
It is.
Like there's a reason, three's worth 50% more than two. There's a reason that people chuck threes like they do in the NBA these days. It's because the math tells you to do that. And so I know in college basketball, it's a little bit different. The floor is not as spread out, obviously. You don't have the shooting ability. But yeah, I think that you need to see a little bit more volume from the 3-point perspective. And as far as like hitting those shots, I think a lot of the misses that you've seen have been from like guys like Aristote and Karchenkov who are getting good looks. They're just not necessarily making them early on in their careers. And I do think that will improve. I believe that Dwayne Aristote and Ivan Karchenkov will get more settled and that their threes will start looking better and better. Obviously, Karchenkov had a couple open ones he missed tonight. But yeah, I'm not super concerned about it long term. I don't find it to be like a debilitating thing, but I definitely think that you need to essentially, uptick your volume. And as Tyler says again, on the money, as always, like teams will just start playing drop coverage against you. They'll collapse the paint, and then Jaden Bradley and Mo Krivas' jobs get a lot tougher. Koa Pete, everybody.
I'm with you.
So you need Anthony Del Orso to shoot more threes in particular, in my opinion. His volume's been really low this season. Granted, he's taken good shots, but I just think maybe he needs to sit on the perimeter a little bit more as a kick-out option. And then, you have guys like Karchenkov and Dwayne Aristote who are still very young, getting their feet under them, and their shots look good. They're just not going in right now.
And I think, what did we say in the pregame about UConn? We said, let them beat you with the three because they are killers when they get below the 3-point line. They do not miss from inside the 3-point line. They are incredibly efficient from 2 points, right? What did they do tonight? Shot 32% from three on 25 attempts in a game that they lost by 4 points. If I'm a UConn fan, I'm wondering why Solo Ball had 8 3-point attempts and 1 make. I'm wondering why our backup center is shooting 5 threes. I know he made 2. But is that the highest percentage shot that your backup center can make?
I mean, we were giving him that shot all night long. Like,
for
as
what,
far as me and
yes.
you are from each other right now,
yes.
is where Mo Krivas was playing defense on.
Yes, and I think
Reaver.
Arizona's offense is in some ways similar to what UConn's is when it's at its best. Like, it's paint points, and if you get open shots, you get open shots. UConn went away from that because Arizona's defense was really strong. They forced them to shoot threes. So if Arizona shoots a higher volume of threes in this game and just isn't making them, but they're shooting them to shoot them, you probably lose this game.
Yeah.
The highest percentage shot is a layup or a dunk. And I think Arizona has the personnel to get high percentage shot after high percentage shot after high percentage shot without needing to huck up a three. Now, if it opens up, you better make them, or else what Tyler Warden said in the chat will happen, where not only are we going to sell out and pack the paint, you can't shoot it anyway, right? So I think they just got to fall. These are good shots by players that are capable of making them. As we evolve into the season, I will probably, evolve my take with it. As Tyler Warden says, you do have to probably be better than 360th in the country in 3-point attempts. But
you can't be 360th in the country in anything and expect to be a national champion. Anything.
That's true.
In any sort of one of those Ken Palm statistics.
That is fair. However, I don't know. I for whatever reason, I'm just not that.
I think it's an interesting take because 360th is pathetic. That's
it is.
Stat.
In attempts. In attempts, though. Like, it's not like it's in 3-point percent. Like,
that's extremely valuable, I'd argue.
It is, but their offense, I feel like, is still good.
If you shoot 100% from 3, but you take 1 a game, how much is your perimeter shooting helping your team?
Not a lot. But
you could be like, I have the best 3-point percentage in the country. And you're like, cool.
That's why they have the the parameters of like per attempts or whatever. But that's your point. But I'm saying, like, their offense is so good in the paint. It's so efficient.
It is.
From 2. If they can just have a couple Del Orso threes, maybe 1 or 2 Karchenkov threes a game, I think it's good enough to keep a defense honest and keep them from packing the paint. Not every team is going to pack the paint to the extent that UCLA did, because not every team is defensively talented enough to do it. Not every team has the front court that can even slow down a Koa Pete as he's getting to the rim. So, yeah, it's a fun conversation. I'm sure we're going to continue to have it throughout the year. But as of November 19th, like, for whatever reason, I could not be any less bothered by it. Like, I don't know why.
Kevin's saying calma to the chat here.
Calma.
Yeah.
What did Aaron Rodgers do that one time where they asked him like a legitimate question and he was like blowing it off because he's a jerk and he was like, RELAX, guys, relax.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like we're 5 games in, and Tyler Warden knows ball, and this is genuine stats that he is bringing up. But like, we're 5 games in, small sample size. Let's talk again in 5 games and see where they're at. As he brings up per KenPom, 3-point attempts to field goals attempted is 360th, but we are top 75 in the country in 3-point percentage. So like, I take those, to be honest. When you're winning 5-0 and your offense looks good, I'll take those.
I'd rather be 250th in attempts and 100th in 3-point percentage, Kevin.
I'm bad at math, Damon.
But like you get the point.
I do get the point.
I'd rather make less and take more shots because that balances out the offense a little bit more. It's a parabola and you got to reach this apex point at the top, or else there comes a point where the too much volume is going to hurt you. But we got to find that sweet spot a little bit more. I do hear you, though. Like, the games haven't dictated taking the threes at this point in the season. So it's hard to sit here and be like, yeah, that's going to be the reason that we lose in March, and it's going to end our season, when we haven't seen what it looks like when teams are really like, take them, shoot those threes. And this team is primarily built on being a paint team. You have Koa Pete on this team. You have Jaden Bradley, Mo Krivas, Tobe Awaka. Like, most of these guys do their scoring on the interior, but I think we just need to see a little bit more positive regression in terms of the attempts in particular. Something to monitor all season long. I definitely am way more concerned about the late game execution stuff, the baseline out of bounds stuff, than I am about the 3-point stuff. But we'll be keeping track of it all year long over here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. Appreciate everybody for being in this chat today. What a show! What a night! And what another day to be an Arizona Wildcat. It's been a week to be an Arizona Wildcat, a month. Like, it's been unbelievable, guys. So shout out everybody for being here in the chat. Drop a like for yourselves for chopping it up with us, hanging out with us all night long. I want to appreciate all of our UConn fans who hopped in here as well to watch some of this post-game coverage. Appreciate you guys.
UConn fans are a pretty respectful bunch.
Yeah.
They'll push back and say your team is not as good as maybe they are, or that's just friendly banter. That's just good banter.
Listen, I think when you win back-to-back natties in the last 3 years, you kind of
start fixing your bow tie.
I think you just kind of lose the listen, bro. Like, if Arizona football was beat ASU 20 times in a row and was national champions, I don't think I'd be arguing with ASU fans on Twitter as much. You know what I mean? There comes a point where you're like, guys, what are we arguing about? Mm-hmm. We're the best. Mm-hmm. What's there not to smile about in my life? So I would imagine that's why UConn fans are pretty benevolent, and that's why UCLA fans are such assholes, because they haven't won a championship since before we did, and yet they act like we're some ancient history basketball program and they're on top. But yeah. Appreciate everybody for being here. What a night. What a day to be an Arizona Wildcat. And you guys are the real MVPs in this one. You can follow my guy Kevin at KevoPosts. That's KEVOPOSTS. And you can follow me at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Of course, follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all socials except for TikTok, where Kevin's running the show over there at AZ Wildcats Pod, 10 Toes Down MMA. Drink.
Makachev.
Great little Kevin is mad about Makachev. We'll talk about it on a non-post-game show.
They're ruining the sport, David.
Yeah, they are ruining the sport. #they. And shout out the Magic Headband.
Oh, my God. Can we get some love for the Magic Headband at the end of the show?
Revere the Magic Headband.
In the chat, drop a like for this Magic Headband.
Be in awe of the Magic Headband. I have now put this thing on 3 times when Arizona was in a dogfight with Florida, UCLA, and UConn. And ever since I put it on, Kevin, in those 3 instances, game changer. Game changer. I'm not exaggerating, am I?
No.
The vibes have completely switched when the Magic Headband goes on.
It's kind of unbelievable. I don't even want to say too much.
It actually kind of is.
Yeah, I don't want to even say too much because I don't know what type of magic that headband has and what might deactivate it. But let's just say there's a special bit of magic brewing with that headband that Damon rocks when Arizona is in a close game, and we're reaping the benefits. I'll say that much. We're reaping the benefits. I do want to bring up, before we get out of here, I know we've been here for about an hour and a half, and thank you to everybody here for sticking with us for pretty much 90 minutes talking about this great win for Arizona. But Steve R in the chat brings up a very good point.
Yeah.
Every UConn postgame pod and fan is harping on the not at full strength excuse. Game is played differently depending on personnel, but it doesn't mean you just get the win. And I think that is true. I also think, look, Danny Hurley knows what he's doing. You know, this is classic Danny Hurley ball. But apparently, per sources in our chat that said it earlier, at halftime or something, they asked Danny Hurley, like, what's it going to take to get this Arizona team out of here? He said, well, we're deeper than them. We just got to wear them down. And I think there was like this idea from some UConn fans, clearly some UConn pundits, all the way up to their head coach of like, we're deeper than Arizona. We're better than Arizona. Even if we don't have Terrace Reed, we should beat them. But if we don't have Terrace Reed and we lose, it's because we didn't have Terrace Reed. Even though we're deeper than them, we're more talented than them, we have more experience than them, we're at home. Like, this is a 4-point game without Terrace Reed. I'm going to go out on a limb. It's probably like a 2-point game with Terrace Reed. It could be in the other direction. No, wait, hear me out.
35. You. That's not plus 35 points, Kevin.
But I'm saying it could go.
According to the UConn fan in our pregame show, it would be a 34-point UConn win if Terrace Reed played.
It would.
He's worth 35 points. We learned that.
And I'm not saying it's like a 2-point game like Arizona only wins by 2 points. I'm saying it's a 2-point game either way. It's going to be a close game down the stretch regardless with these two teams, right? And to Steve's point and to Jamon's point earlier and to some other people in the chat's point earlier, you got to play the game, right? My point with this, and sorry for the specificity with the points, David, in the chat, but my point is, with or without Terrace Reed, this game is razor close. These teams are cut from the same cloth. Yeah. And by that, I mean teams that could be cutting nets at the end of the year, right? So
here's what I'll say. They didn't have Terrace Reed. Obviously, huge loss. Could be a game changer. Could be the thing that decides a win versus a loss in this one. Here's another thing that could decide a win versus a loss in this one. The fact that you guys were at home in a cross-country road game for Arizona in Storrs, Connecticut, which is an insanely tough place to play. And you still lost. So now what if we put it on a neutral site? What would happen, right? That's a wrench that you did not expect to be thrown into this argument for some reason. Like we can continue to play this game of like this happened here and this happened there all game long, but at the end of the day, Arizona gets the W. And if Arizona had lost this one, obviously UConn wouldn't be at full strength, but I think we'd be on here being like, man, that's a good team. Man, that's a good team over there on that other side of the ball. But yeah, I mean, they missed a ton of free throws, as David says here. They didn't rebound effectively, which that could have potentially been a big difference if Reed was in the game, the rebounding aspect of things. Who knows? Arizona does out-rebound most teams, including Florida. But like this, it's possible. But yeah, I mean, listen, you're in a true road environment. They don't have one of their best players. And like the level of physicality in which UConn was allowed to play with, given that it was in Storrs, was insane. They had dudes playing football out there, Kevin. Like the contact, the physicality, it's great, but that's allowed because you're at home and you still lost. So we could play this game all day. We could go back and forth and find reasons as to why this team had the advantage here and this team had the advantage there. But ultimately, we get the W, and now we should be the number one team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll say this. I will say this. To the credit of UConn fans, right? Terrace Reed Jr. aside, like, you don't even have Brayden Mullins in this game. Now, he was never supposed to play in this game, like, with everything going on with his injury coming into it. I think I'd be more hurt that Terrace Reed didn't play if I was a UConn fan. But I'm saying, like, if we want to have the neutral site conversation, I don't give a damn about Terrace Reed because he's probably going to play in that game, right? But you need Brayden Mullins if you're UConn to really, really be the team that you could be. And I think that is one that has not been mentioned a lot on this pod. Like, we're talking about Terrace Reed being out. Brayden Mullins is also out. So, I hear UConn fans and UConn pundits talking about that. But this was still a winnable game for UConn at home. And what a win it was. And as David says, we are going to enjoy it because this is a momentous victory for the Arizona Wildcats. Undefeated, never lost.
Same can't be said for the UConn Huskies, that's for sure. Like I said, follow me at Damon Dog. Follow him at KevoPost. Follow us at PHNX_Wildcats. And appreciate everybody for being here in this show. Means the world. Even the UConn fans, you guys are great as well.
Way cooler than BYU fans.
Way cooler than BYU.
Infinitely
fans.
cooler than BYU fans.
BYU fans are like that. Yeah, they listen. They can't get. They need to lose this weekend, or else they're going to get a hold of a tweet that is. It could go nuclear, Kevin. It could go nuclear.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna leave that one in the chamber. Let's just wrap this up before I get us canceled.
Let's do it. Drop a like on this video, rate and review on your favorite podcasting platform, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're on the road to 50K, and we are very, very close. So appreciate everybody for being here. We'll catch you on a Thursday edition at 2 p.m. of the AZ Wildcats podcast. Until then, peace out, bear down.
And go Cats. We are number one, or at least we should be.
We all silly like the mayor.